Hello and welcome. My name is Mark. This is Riffle Shuffle and Roll, and today we're going to be talking about a little game called Mario Kart Edition Uno. If it's your first time visiting the channel, be sure to hit subscribe and the bell so you're notified about new games every week. Mario Kart Uno is a hand-shedding game for 2 to 10 players. In this game, each player is trying to be the first to get rid of all the cards from their hand. They earn points for the cards remaining in their opponent's hands, and rounds are played until one player has reached 500 points or more. This game plays a lot like classic Uno. There is one major change with the wild item box card and the addition of items at the bottom of each card. These items are activated when a wild item box card is played. Let's see how it all works and dive into how to play Mario Kart Uno. Out of the box, you will get the instruction pamphlet and a 112 card deck that consists of 4 colors, draw 4 cards, and wild item box cards. Each colored suit consists of the same number of cards. There's 1 0, and then 2 of everything else. 1s up through 9s, and then 2 reverses, draw 2s, and skips. Every card also has an item in the bottom left corner of the card. These items are activated by the item box wild card. Let's look at an example of when an item box wild card is played and what each item does. If an item box wild card is played, the next card is flipped over. If that card is a mushroom, then the same player gets to go again. If they are unable to play another card on the pile, like this player here does not have a 9 or a red, they have to draw a card. And play continues on. If a banana peel is revealed, the player who went before the current player taking their turn has to draw 2 cards. So if the player on their right had just went, they must draw 2. Or if the player on their left had just went, they must draw 2. If the green shell is revealed, then this player gets to pick any other player at the table, and they must draw 1 card. If lightning is revealed, then all the other players have to draw 1 card, and this player gets to go again. If an action card is turned up, the action does not happen. So for this example, all the other players would draw a card, this player would get to take another turn, and then play would continue on as normal, with the next player either playing a blue or an 8 or a wild. And finally, if a bob-omb is turned up, then that player must draw 2 cards. It could either be from a draw 4 or another wild box card. Either way, this player must draw 2. They then pick the color. So they could say, I want blue. And then the player going next must play a blue card. Just like normal Uno, there are draw 4s in the deck. However, they have a special rule that must be followed. A person can play a draw 4 anytime they want. However, this version of Uno incorporates the challenge rule. When a person chooses to play a draw 4, it is possible for the next player to challenge them. When a player is challenged, they must show all the cards in their hand to the challenger. Make sure that only the challenger sees the cards. If the person who played the draw 4 had a card that matched the color of the top of the discard pile, they must draw 4 instead. So in this example, the player had blue cards that they could have played. They were challenged, they showed their hand, they saw that they in fact did have blue cards, so they have to draw 4. They can still choose the color, but they have to draw the 4 cards. If a draw 4 is played and challenged, and that player does not have any cards that could have worked, so now we see there are no blue cards in this player's hand, the challenger failed, and they have to draw 4 plus 2 more for failing the challenge. So in total, the player has to draw 6 cards. To determine the first dealer for the game, each player should draw a card. The player with the highest ranking card gets to deal first. All action cards count as 0. Our dealer will be here at the bottom of the screen. Deal 7 cards to each player and place the rest of the deck face down in the center of the playing space. Turn the top card over to begin the discard pile. If the first card is an action card, that action must be completed. In the case of a reverse being turned up, the dealer goes first instead of the player to the left of the dealer. If it's draw 2, the first player, which is the player left of the dealer, must draw 2. And if it's a skip, the first player left of the dealer is skipped. If a wild item box card is turned up, then the dealer gets to pick the first color. The game cannot begin with a draw 4. So if a draw 4 is turned up, shuffle it back into the deck and flip over a different card. If the game begins with just a normal number card, then the player seated to the left of the dealer goes first. Again, the player at the bottom of the screen was our dealer, so the player on the left side of the screen is player 1 and gets to go first. They can play any red or number 4 card. Of course, they could also possibly play the wild item box card or a draw 4. They have a red 7 and a green 4. Either one of those cards would be a legal play. And again, they could play their wild item box card if they choose. They're going to go ahead and play their green 4. Play then passes to the left. Player 2 at the top of the screen must play a green card, a number 4, or one of their wilds or draw 4 cards. They have some options as well. They choose to play their green 3 and play passes left. Again, the player must play a green or a 3 or one of their wilds. They choose to play their wild item box card. Now, this card cannot be challenged. It can be played anytime. And the next card from the draw pile is immediately flipped over. If it's an action card, the action is not completed, but the item in the bottom left corner is activated. It's a red mushroom, so this player gets to go again. They do not have any reds or any skips, so they must play their wild card again. So they're going to go ahead and play their wild item box card. If they didn't have that wild, they would have to draw. So they flip the next card over, and it's a banana peel. That means that the player who went before them must draw 2 cards. From there, play continues, and the dealer, who is now about to take their first turn, must play a yellow or a skip. They have a yellow 9, and they're going to play that to the pile. Play passes to the left. Player 1 plays the yellow 7 onto the discard pile. Play passes, and this player can choose to play their wild item box card or their draw 4. Player 2 decides to play their draw 4. Player 3 must immediately draw 4 cards from the draw pile, unless they choose to challenge. And they think there's no way they don't have a yellow card since they have so many cards in their hand. So player 3 challenges. Now player 2 must show them and them alone their hand. When they unveil their hand, player 3 sees that they do in fact have no yellow cards. The wild item box card doesn't count. It's only if they have a card of the same color. Since the challenger failed the challenge, they were wrong. They must draw 6 cards instead of just 4. Player 2 gets to choose the color that must be played next. Play continues as described until a player is about to play their second to last card. So here the top card on the discard pile is a red 6, and player 1 is about to take their turn. They have a green 6. Before they play that card, they will say Uno. When a player is down to 1 card left in their hand, they need to say Uno immediately. If another player catches that they are down to 1 card before they say Uno, they can interject and say Uno. If that player gets caught, they must draw 2 cards as a penalty. And play would then continue as normal. The first player to empty their hand and play their final card wins the round. At that point, it's time to tally up the score. The player who is able to go out will earn points equal to the value of the cards remaining in their opponent's hands. Numbered cards are worth the value of the number on the card. Draw 2s, skips, and reverses are all worth 20 points each. Wild item box cards and draw 4s are worth 50 points each. Collect the cards and deal passes left from the previous dealer. Continue playing rounds until one player has reached 500 points or more. That player is the winner. And that's how to play the Mario Kart edition of Uno. As you can see, it sticks to the roots of Uno, not changing a whole lot about the base system of play. All the classic action cards are there, the draw 4s are still there, and it's the same deck composition as traditional Uno. But the addition of the items and then the activation of them really adds a nice layer to the game. I feel like even if you took away the Mario Kart theme of this particular version and just added items that did what these items do, it would seem like a natural evolution of the game. And I think that is really cool. So if you're a fan of Uno, if you're a fan of Mario or Mario Kart, and if you're just looking for a new and interesting way to play the game, I 100% suggest picking this up. All right, that is it for now. Thanks for watching. As always, there are links down in the description to the Riffle, Shuffle, and Roll website where we post our original games. You've got a link to GameRules.com where you can find a huge library of traditional and new games, as well as a link to Mario Kart Uno at Amazon.com. That is an affiliate link. That is it for now. Until next time, keep on playing.